What's up everyone, this is the Apple Reseller here. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be doing a video on whether the iPhone 5S is still worth it in 2017 or not. Now let's start off with some background on the iPhone 5S. This iPhone came out back in September of 2013, so it's a bit over 4 years old now, and its main feature when it came out was the 64-bit processor. This is the first phone to have the 64-bit processor, which is the A7 chip, and it's also the first iPhone to have a fingerprint sensor, and it's also got some camera improvement over the previous iPhones, such as slow-mo at 120 frames per second. It's also got burst mode, which you can take a lot of pictures by holding down the shutter, and it's also got the True Tone flash, so basically when you take pictures in dark you get like a better color. So those are pretty nice feature. One thing that Apple did not change with the iPhone 5S from the iPhone 5 is the design, and that's actually not a bad thing because the iPhone 5 has the square design, and in my opinion this is a very nice design still. In fact, Apple still uses this design for the iPhone SE, which they still sell, and overall this design is very easy to hold because the iPhone 5, 5S and SE has a very small form factor, so it's like very easy grip. If you ever hold like the newer iPhone, like the iPhone 6, 6 Plus with the curved edge, those are really slippery and you can drop those pretty easily, but you can use this phone with one hand pretty easily. Next, I want to talk about the display on this phone. It has a resolution of 1136 by 640, which is a Retina display at 326 pixel per inch. Now it's not the most pixel density screen, but I say it's still a good display. In fact, the newer iPhone, like the non-plus iPhones, still has 326 pixel per inch. They just have better color and brighter display, but honestly you're not going to tell the difference unless you have it side by side. So I would say the display on the iPhone 5S is still a good display. The biggest problem with the display, however, is obviously the screen size. It only has a 4-inch display, and most other phones today have like 4.7, 5-inch or even bigger display. Next, I will be talking about the camera on the iPhone 5S. Now on the rear you have a 8 megapixel camera with 1080p video recording, and you also got the True Tone flash, which produces a better color if you're going to take picture at night with the flash. And on the front you have a 1.3 megapixel camera that can record 720p video, and overall the camera on the iPhone 5S is okay. The rear camera I think is pretty good, so if you want to like take pictures, it's still takes good picture. However, the front facing camera, I would say it's not that good. Like if you have decent lighting, then I think you can get a pretty good picture or a video call. You should be fine. But if you don't have good lighting, then the front facing camera is pretty bad. Now I'm going to be talking about the performance, battery life, and app support of the iPhone 5S. Now, even though this phone supports the latest iOS 11, I'm running iOS 10, which I will show you guys. As you can see here, I still have iOS 10 installed, and on iOS 10 this phone is very fast. It still launches apps very fast, it's very smooth. I don't really feel much lag on iOS 10, and overall this phone is still pretty fast. I do use this phone once in a while, and it's still a good phone, I would say, in terms of performance. My main phone is an iPhone 6s Plus, and that's faster than this phone. But for a 4-year-old phone, this phone does perform very well. However, battery life on this phone is not as good as my iPhone 6s Plus. Because this phone has a smaller form factor, that means you get a smaller battery. I've never used this phone as my main phone, but I think if I do, I will need to charge it like one time in the middle of the day just to get by. And as far as app support, I don't have any issue with app support. I was still able to get all the latest version of apps that I need for iOS 10. Although this phone does support iOS 11, so you shouldn't have any issue with app support for the iPhone 5S. So overall, I think the iPhone 5S is still a good phone in 2017, mainly because of its performance. It's still pretty fast for today, and also because it's still up to date, so you won't have problem with app support. However, the iPhone 5S does have its own issue, mainly of its screen. It's a 4-inch display, and the bigger phone like the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus and the newer iPhone will just be a much better experience. Like the iPhone 5S is a bit hard to type on because of the smaller screen, and also it has a smaller battery due to the smaller form factor, so the battery may not last you a day depending on how much you use it. I would say that the iPhone 5S can still be your main phone for today in 2017, but I will recommend like at least an iPhone 6 or 6S just because they have better battery life and also they have a bigger displays, so it will be easier to like type on. The iPhone 5S will be a good phone to pick up to use as a backup phone, or if you collect Apple devices, then that would be good. You can get an iPhone 5S for around $100, so they're pretty cheap, and for the price, the iPhone 5S can still do a lot. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoy it. And if you do enjoy my content, go ahead and subscribe to me. I would really appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time.